What are we going to do, Jesse?
Why don't you go back in the water?
Hey, we're going to watch, after 50 years, Jaws.
Doo-doo.
Dun-dun,
Doo-doo.
dun-dun.
There is a creature alive today who has survived millions of years of evolution without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws. This is Universal's extraordinary motion picture version of Peter Benchley's best-selling novel, Jaws.
I just found out that a girl got killed here last week. And you knew it. You knew there was a shark out there. You knew it was dangerous. But you let people go swimming anyway. Did you see that?
It's all psychological. You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Is it true that most people get attacked by sharks in 3 feet of water, about 10 feet from the beach? Yeah.
What we are dealing with here is a perfect engine, an eating machine.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark.
Bad fish. But I'll catch him and kill him.
Did you hear your father? Out of the water now!
This shark, swallow you whole. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
Hurry up, he's coming straight for us. Don't screw it up now. Don't wait for me. Now! Shoot! What's he tell you? Give him room! I can't, he's trying to run! Oh! Come quick! I can't hold it! Hurry! Take it up! Hurry!
None of man's fantasies of evil can compare with the reality of Jaws. Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Jaws. See it before you go swimming.
Shark bite?
50th anniversary of Jaws.
50 years.
50 years.
50 years.
50 years. Oh, yeah.
It's like
Just
I don't
like
remember
yesterday.
when it was
Just
when
like
it first
yesterday.
came out.
Yeah.
I do declare.
1975. Probably one of they considered the first summer blockbuster. In honor of one of my all-time favorite movies, we're going to drink this. What is it?
Shark bite.
Shark Bite. And what is it, Mike?
We got some spiced rum.
Ooh.
Some white rum.
Whoa.
Or your light rum.
Okay. Bad.
Sweet and sour.
And blue curacao. Or however.
Curacao.
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 Cacao.
And a little
There's
splash of
cacao.
grenadine.
And some
Grenadine.
Yeah.
And some grenadine. So, hey, pull up a Shark Bite, enjoy a drink, and let's watch some Jaws.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
All right.
Ooh.
I definitely taste the white rum.
Ooh, that is tasty.
That is good.
That can be dangerous, actually. There's a lot of stuff.
Hey, that's a nice drink when you're sitting on the beach and you're about to go in the water.
I want to go in the water.
When the beaches are open,
Yeah, I'll tell you right
everyone's having a wonderful time.
That's yummy.
That is fantastic.
Oh, that's good. Oh, wow. It's very tropic.
He was coming back from the island of Tinian to Lady. Just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb.
What did I just hear?
Hiroshima bum.
700 men went into the water.
Little lady
Vessel went
and
down in
bum.
12 minutes.
Is he drunk?
See the first shark for about half an hour.
Robert
Tiger,
Shaw was drunk pretty much the
13-footer.
entire time
You
on
know that
set.
when you're in the water, Chief, you tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week. Very first light, Chief. Sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. You know, it's kind of like old squares in a battle, like you see in a calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo. And the idea was, shark comes the nearest man, that man he start pounding.
He almost
and
comes
hollering
across
and
as like
screaming.
Cajun, you
Sometimes
know?
the shark go away.
Yeah.
Water boy
Sometimes he
uncle.
wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you.
Baba Boucher.
Right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark? He's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then... Oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in and they rip you to pieces. You know, by the end of that first dawn,
Surprised they didn't
Lost
talk
100
about
men.
when the sharks roar.
I don't know how many
Wrong
sharks.
movie.
Maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men. They average 6 an hour. On Thursday morning, Chief, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland. Baseball player. Bosun's mate. I thought he was asleep. Reached over to wake him up. Bobbed up and down in the water. It was like a kind of top. Upended. Well, he'd been bitten in half below the waist. Noon the 5th day, Mr. Hooper, Lockheed Ventura saw us. He swung in low and he saw us too. A young pilot, a lot younger than Mr. Hooper anyway. He saw us and he come in low, and 3 hours later, a big fat PBY comes down and starts to
What?
pick us
I'm
up.
glad closed caption
that was
is
the
on. I
guy
can't
I
tell
was
what the hell
most
he's
frightened.
saying.
Waiting for my turn. I'll never put on a life jacket again.
It's like the dude from
So 1,100 men.
Waterboy.
316 men come out.
Durr.
Ships took the rest.
He wasn't in the room.
I know.
What?
He literally
you
just said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, we're on the same page.
I
He
know.
sounds just like him. Yep.
Bobby Boucher, I'm your father. I'm your daddy.
Oh, that guy? Oh.
Well, yeah, so we got the 75 classic directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss,
Baba Boucher.
Roy Scheider, Bobby Boucher. Yeah.
I'm your father.
I don't know. I'll let you guys kind of start it out. I could talk about this movie for hours.
So I haven't watched it as many times as you,
Yeah.
but it is one of those that when you start watching it, you definitely get the heebie-jeebies, and to me, what always stands out from it is the score, John Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that music,
Iconic.
Even listening to the speech and everything that he was just doing in the background, just hearing the high pitches and it's really kind of draws you into it.
It's one of those, it's kind of like the movie Halloween. They said, when like Halloween was coming out, the early reviews didn't have the theme for Halloween in it, and the early reviews, people thought it was stupid. But once they added in the theme and the music, they thought, oh my God, this movie's scary as anything. And I think that's kind of thing. The score in this movie is almost a character by itself. Like you know when the shark's coming because you get the dun.
It adds that fear. It's
Right.
like
So
definitely it's
anticipation.
scary. Yeah.
Right.
picks up. Yeah.
Well, and then you add the cinematography into it, where I know that there was a lot of discussion about the mechanical shark and stuff, but I think what the genius of Spielberg in it is the camera
beaver cam?
angles. Yeah, the beaver cam. Right. Where it's just
if you
like
guys
coming
don't know
at
what
you.
Mike's talking about, watch our review on Zombievers. Anyway, back to Jaws.
But the beaver cam, or the where it's coming at the music and everything, and you're the POV of the shark, and it just kind of gets you. And then he throws in some of that. It's a hoax, right? It's just a couple kids, but you just get that anxiety of, oh my God, it's happening again type thing. So
It's that movie that made people. It's like Psycho. People are afraid to go in the shower. This one's people that are afraid to get in the water. Right.
Oh, for sure, it scared the crap out of people for years and years. Well, probably still.
I still don't go. I don't like going into
With all
oceans
the
just
shark
because I
movies.
don't trust what I can't see, and that shit freaks me out. Like that scene that we talked about with the guy getting eaten in the estuary. It's that little shot of the shark. You just see the little shadow of it. It's blurry.
Yep.
And it kind of appears out of the darkness, grabs him, and it disappears.
Right.
And that just freaks me out, man. Even to this day, as many times as I've seen it, I don't like watching that scene. It bothers me because it's no.
Pussy.
Yep, it's exactly right. You will not get me in the water, man. No.
But that's the genius of it, I think, is it does it. Even to this day, you look at it 50 years still, and it still has an impact on you. It's one of the best movies ever.
My daughters, I was telling Jason earlier, we took them to the movie theater to watch it.
Yeah.
A year or two ago. I don't remember exactly, but their first time watching it. And again, to speak to what you just said, being a very old movie for kids that they're used to seeing all the special effects now, and they were scared.
Yeah.
They were screaming. There was a couple jump scares, and
Well, going back to Spielberg, it just showed at how great of a filmmaker he,
Well, and
at the beginning, and still stayed that way.
He had to
He was a
modify it
storyteller.
because the thing that there's a lot of stories is that they wanted to show that shark a lot more.
Right.
They couldn't get the damn thing to work, and so there's documentaries called like "The Shark Is Broken." Actually, they couldn't get the thing to work and to look the way they wanted it to, so they had to Spielberg had to modify it and make it look that he had to cause fear and everything without showing less is more. And I think that's it makes
so
you
much
go,
better.
this is so much better. And so
the
video, like I sent you, and Jeremy will pop this in here, the death of the Kintner boy.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. They show the POV from the shark coming up underneath, and all you see is the Kintner boy kind of like flailing around with some blood, and you see at one point like the shark's fins just kind of roll over. The video that you'll see here in a minute. They had test footage of the shark. They tried showing the shark coming up and clamping down and biting him.
Right.
And there's even the photo. You liked the photo I sent you. That photo's freaky.
Yeah.
It's a still photo of the shark coming up underneath and everything. And I'm so glad that they didn't go that route. I kind of like the less is more, because especially early in the movie, you don't see that damn shark at all.
No.
Until the first estuary scene. And actually the estuary scene, I'm just ranting because I love this movie. That guy that lost his leg.
Yeah.
That scene also, like you called it the beaver cam of it swimming past his son they had another scene with the shark with that dude in its mouth pushing the dude in his mouth, hitting Martin's son, and then pushing both of them.
Oh,
Gotcha.
And
so that's why that's what threw it. Probably it was more in shock. From
that's
that.
the thing, and so
There's
there's all these, but it's
happening
one of those things. Once again, you didn't need that. I think they looked at it as they wanted to shock more people and show the shark, but I think it's not until you kind of see that little bit, but then the jumping up and you're going to need a bigger boat line,
Right.
It's the fear of everybody
holy
else,
crap.
like running out of the water and everything that throws that fear. You don't need to see the shark.
Well, you make it in your head
of
what's
what's
going to
scary,
happen, right?
what's worse.
I could be there.
Right.
It could be happening to me.
Yeah.
It's
a great
so.
movie.
Did your daughters end up liking the movie? Did they
liked
like
it a lot, yeah.
Right?
They really
so,
enjoyed it.
And it's funny, man. So how old were they roughly at the time?
Had to be about 16 and 14.
Okay. So funny story. My niece, if my sister watches this, she's gonna. My niece, who's somewhere between the ages of 6 and 8. Let's just throw that ballpark. somehow she started watching the movie Jaws, and they stopped it, I don't know, halfway through it or something like that. And my sister then woke up the next morning and went into my niece's room, and she had it on watching, and she watched the whole ending of it by herself.
Nice.
And I was like, was she terrified? Like, whoa, and she apparently loved the movie. And I think, I don't, and it's funny because they go to the beaches a lot and everything, and apparently no worse for the wear. She likes going and swimming in the ocean, so hey, good for her.
I think the ages that you're saying your daughters were, it's like that's the age you start understanding. You look for those movies that have a little bit storytelling than just your normal, like you're growing up. I guess you're getting older, so I think that's a good age of understanding movies.
But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of that weird thing. You get, Chief Brody, brand new chief in Amity Island, comes in. He hates the water. That's his big thing. And they say, why don't you hate water? What are you afraid of? And he goes, drowning. That's why he doesn't like water.
It's a reasonable.
But yeah, so you got these shark attacks. No one believes them until obviously the Kittner boy gets killed because the mayor, what, the 4th of July weekend's coming up.
Yeah, why don't you
got to make money. And Quint,
beaches are open.
Yeah, beaches are open, and you're gonna, Quint comes in and wants to charge him. I'll hunt the shark for you, but you got to pay me $30,000.
Right.
No one wants to do it because they're cheap, and the mayor doesn't want to pay it, and then more people are killed.
No.
And it kind of forces the mayor's hand to hire Quint, and then that leads to our 3 heroes, Quint, Hooper, and Brody, all going out on the Yorka to go kill this thing.
Shooting a tank of gas.
Which
25-footer.
Which that
3 tons
going
of 'em.
out into the ocean, I have to say the best scene was him. He was chumming the water, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
that's the you're gonna need a bigger boat.
And he stands up, and just his eyes,
the look on his face,
you could feel that.
Yep.
That was I think my favorite scene in the whole movie.
I think it's that scene because
it's amazing.
He didn't see the shark up until that point, and it was holy shit!
Yeah,
this thing's a monster. And it kind of, and Spielberg was like, this is his first movie. Or one of the first. I can't remember. But it's early, right?
He had a couple of them before.
But, I mean, this is his first blockbuster.
TV movie.
This is his first blockbuster. Yeah. They gave him a ton of movie money. There was rumors of firing him because they couldn't get the shark to work. All this stuff. And holy cow, talking about cementing your legacy. The other scene.
Well, this was like the summer blockbuster.
Well, that was the thing. This is like the first one.
Like
75.
Started that.
Before Star Wars, everything like
before Zombiever.
But it's like every single movie he made after that was
40 years before Zombiever. Yeah, I think Zombiever took a lot from it.
Yeah, I mean,
he
a lot
inspired a lot of filmmakers.
There was water in Zombievers.
Yes,
a lot of POV shots.
There's POVs. Yeah,
beaver camps.
There was shaved beavers too.
Yeah.
How cool would that have been if they not totally,
but just
ripped it from
homage,
some type of doo-doo, maybe just even one little.
Well, when we saw the blood scene, I mean, when the dog got attacked,
that was good.
Or when the dude got his foot bitten off.
It was very similar,
The other scene that we just watched, I think is probably the best the rumor. Robert Shaw was apparently a big issue on the set the entire time because he was drunk the whole time.
He had to be in character,
drinking nonstop in character.
Drunken sailor.
But he had to memorize this Indianapolis.
Right.
Speech.
The bomb.
Famously, Richard Dreyfuss has come out and said in interviews years later, obviously, was when, if you watch Richard Dreyfuss, the whole time that he's speaking, when Robert Shaw is given the
is he mouthing
speech
it?
there. No, but you can see him, Richard Dreyfuss just kind of has this look of shock and awe kind of on his face a little bit. And it's because that was pretty much one of the first takes that that Quint did, and he was kind of like, "Holy shit!"
This guy's drunk, and he remembered all this.
He remembered it, and it was just taken back by how powerful it was. And I think it's one of the best scenes. Best scenes in movie history. I love that scene so much. Yeah,
it just adds to the suspense of it.
and just about him too, why he hates sharks so much, and his willingness to pretty much quote go down with the ship at the end when he meets his fate with that when. Bruce the shark, that's what they named the animatronic shark.
That was my
Bruce.
Scene that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Just him going into the mouth.
Sliding down, and he's trying to scramble.
Isn't Bruce the name of the shark in Finding Nemo?
Yes,
that's
it is.
Where,
yep.
There you go.
I didn't
See,
That's
look at that.
why they use that name in Finding
Yeah,
Nemo.
that's why that came from. Yeah, Bruce the Shark. Yeah, that was a little tip of the cap.
Though, in Nemo,
Yeah.
right?
Jeez, I do know Nemo very well.
Yeah, shark bait, hoo ha.
Yeah.
That's right. Shark bite.
Yep.
Shark bite. Yeah, no, that him screaming when he's going down and then it clamps down on him.
Yeah.
And then it goes down under. But actually, besides that part that really got me is when the shark comes back. Because at that point, Hooper's the first one to go. He goes in the cage.
Well, yeah.
And the shark destroys the cage. And Brody thinks Hooper's been killed.
Oh, yeah. I think
Because
everybody.
Hooper pussies
kinda
out
did.
and swims to the bottom because he realizes I ain't going to be able to do anything because his little plan with the poison dart doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
And then he sees Quint go down. And then as Brody's kind of preparing because the orca's sinking, when the shark comes back up and he's showing his jaws and there's flesh all stuck to the teeth
Oh, yeah.
of the shark right after he took Quint down, and you're like, oh, God, there's Quint. That's the rest of them. There he is. Yeah, and then just unfortunately, Mythbusters had to destroy the myth with the air tank, that it wouldn't explode like that. But either way,
It's still a great
scene.
great
Smile,
scene.
you
Yes.
son of a bitch.
Yes.
Defeated the
great
enemy
line.
of the movie, and yeah,
It's a
it
classic
was
line.
amazing.
There's a lot of them in there.
Oh, yeah. You know my favorite.
Say it again for us.
Why don't you go in the water? That's my favorite. The mayor. Such a douche.
Yeah, when he no one's going in the water. Why don't you go in the water? And the guy's like, well, I'm trying to absorb the rays, the sunshine. Don't you go in the water? Nobody's going in.
So perfect timing. I'll be in the ocean.
Are you?
Really?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What ocean?
Lake Michigan?
Gulf of America.
Oh, the Gulf of America. All right. Woo!
Where's that?
Naples. We're going to be in Naples and not nipples.
Oh,
Naples.
Not too much detail. What we're filming here.
There may be nipples.
That'll be on the
In
east,
Naples.
east side of Florida. West side.
West Side.
No.
I can't do it. I know. I was waiting.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I want you to go
So, yeah,
swim. I want you to go swim.
Promise you, I will be thinking of
Yes.
and looking for a fin as I'm swimming.
So I haven't been in the ocean much. I didn't live in Florida like some people here for a long time. But when I have gone in the ocean, I'm not necessarily scared, but I have enough of a fear that I will never go like all the way under. Like
Well,
I will
and that-
wade
and
in
that's
the
the
water
thing.
out to here, and it's like I don't know what else is
well-
out there. I'm not going to take chances.
Th-
so.
And this is another one of those movies where they made people afraid to go in the water, right? Well, there's a scene in here where Brody's talking with Hooper, the shark expert, and goes, "Isn't it true that you can get in a shark attack in less than a foot of water?" Jesus Christ, man! Now you can't even give us a waist. You're telling you can get us in a foot? So right, he says that line, and you're like, "Oh, for God, come on!"
That's why
Come
so many
on.
people run away from when the waves come up. Your feet touch.
Oh man, yeah, that's it's just a fantastic movie.
Oh, it is.
50 years. And still
strong.
Yeah,
Still
I mean,
relevant.
Yeah, it holds
Very
up really,
relevant.
really
Can
well.
watch it.
Well.
there's a lot of movies that you can watch from 1975 or the 80s and stuff, and you're like, oh, this doesn't hold up. This doesn't. And, once again, I think it's because that shark was broken. It was to the benefit.
Yeah. There was a good amount of people in the theater, too, to come
Yeah,
check out that movie.
when I took my boys, I remember.
It's not like there was a handful.
No.
There was a good amount of people there.
I remember finding, like, when I went to go buy seats, we were almost towards the front of the theater.
And you have to pay. You pay extra too.
Hey, extra.
It's
No,
not
it wasn't
like,
the $5 one at the time.
No, this was you
Did
pay
give you any
more.
bonus like before? Like
No,
any kind of
no. It was just like the
movie?
anniversary of it. I just remember we had to sit pretty far forward because the rest of the theater was filled.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we'll be able to get seats.
That's awesome,
Nope.
No.
Yeah, no. And so I will definitely be in the
it holds
theater
up.
this summer when it does come back for its 50th in the theater run. I would be shocked if Marcus doesn't throw it out there once or twice.
They will.
They
should
might
put it
have-
on- They should put it on IMAX.
Do something.
It's not
Screen
going to fill the
X.
whole screen.
I know,
Of course,
it's-
because-
Yeah.
Screen X,
Screen X,
Yes.
but just that'd be cool. So
like Godzilla.
yeah,
Well, I remember seeing that. How much of that movie did you see?
I just
made it
remember
through the
hearing
credits,
snoring while I was sitting there. I'm sitting there watching it like, oh, yeah, this is awesome.
I knocked out, yeah.
Although I will
couldn't-
say that the Screen X is such a waste of. I'm not a fan of it.
I actually liked it whenever it did the whole ocean scene talking
Those
about
were
ocean.
okay with the
'cause it
Godzilla scene.
surrounded
That
you.
was okay, but
you felt like you were in open
I
ocean,
didn't.
no
I took
land
my
around.
daughters. We went
It
and saw
scares you.
Wild Robot
Oh, sure.
Oh.
in Screen X.
Just more of the
Yeah,
ambiance.
some of the
Does that
movies
work?
probably work well. Jaws would work well,
It might
especially
with
the
the
ocean scene. 'cause
surrounding scene,
It feels
yeah.
like you're out nowhere, no
That's
land
what I'm
around.
saying,
You're
though.
stuck. Yeah,
You're out in the
might
wide
Yeah.
way out in the ocean. and
Surrounded
stuff. It would be
by blue.
yeah.
Alone. Yeah.
Dude,
Why?
Think it would
Why
have
are
an
we?
dude.
Why are we going out to sea? Why don't we take this son of a bitch in?
They never remastered this in 3D, did they?
No, but they've done like the 4K remasters,
Like
and stuff
Piranha
like
Double
that.
D or something like that. Where the Jaws jumps out at the screen or something.
That's one of your other movies you have.
That's the,
Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
one where they. Oh, I just remember like watching that and the scene where the guy gets his dick chopped off and the penis comes in 3D. Blows the screen.
I need to
That's
go to
where we
movies
are in
more.
America. Yeah.
Well, no, it was a great movie though.
No, we'll have to definitely revisit. Maybe we'll do a fun review of Jaws for the Revenge. When a shark, the shark is so mad at the Brody family, he follows them down from Massachusetts down to the Virgin Islands
Nice.
and hunts them down.
Which one is this?
The fourth one.
Do you know, actually talking about the
awful.
other ones, the first, I didn't see Jaws Part 1 first.
Oh,
I
no?
saw 3.
Oh, really? At the theme park?
Because in Florida, SeaWorld and all that stuff,
sure.
it's whenever I started kind of watching movies, I was old enough, I guess you would say, to kind of watch some of these. But that was the first one.
That was
went back.
Jaws 3D.
Yeah, I didn't see it in 3D.
I know, but
it was
that
on
was-
VHS
that was-
at home or on HBO.
That was the
back
red
in
and
the day.
blue,
Oh, yeah, the old school.
Paper
yeah.
glasses.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
and it's bad.
That's
There's
crazy.
scenes
Oh, yeah.
where you
It's
can
just crazy
tell
to think of.
what now compared to what we had.
That was
Yeah.
Louis Gossett.
Louis
too.
Gossett,
Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, Leah Thompson's in it.
Yep.
And actually, one of the worst special effects at the end when the shark is floating
Oh,
in the
yeah.
water. It's
break it
it's-
to the glass.
Yeah, its tail doesn't move. Nothing's moving. It's just hovering, and then it hits a plane of glass.
But
that
that's what being a
explodes.
kid. It was just
Oh,
like, oh, this is. But then
You go back
like
and
the
watch
16, like you say, 16-year-old kind of like. When I started getting older, I went back and saw Jaws, and it was like, okay, the appreciation. I was like, this is such a better movie.
Yeah.
It was like
The second one
it's
is
a
good.
total different type of
Yeah.
movie. It went from being great storytelling to just like this is just a summer
So
thriller.
speaking of better movies, specifically better shark movies, so it's probably Deep Blue Sea, right?
That's okay.
With
yeah.
With LL Cool J and
Samuel Jackson.
Which he does
Samuel
break
Jackson.
he does break the trope.
he's not the first.
Yeah, he's the hero almost
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah,
And then probably Megalodon, right?
Well, and then where we put
Meg?
Sharknado.
The Meg, Sharknado. I was just gonna say Sharknado and the Meg are like
47 meters down was
Actually,
pretty good.
One a good movie. What's the one with Blake Lively?
Oh, the Shallows.
That was a
Shallows.
great movie.
Shallows is awesome.
I thought that was
Shallows
really
was
good.
good.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt
Shallows
that
is
Blake
awesome.
Lively's in it. On
That does not
Oh,
hurt.
well,
And she's
yeah.
in a bikini the
Yeah.
whole movie, but
That-
the
does not hurt.
Shallows is awesome.
Like if it was starring me, people would be like,
Will you just jump in the water and get it over with?
gross.
I could see you in a bikini, but still not as good as her. No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So many shark movies, though, they
Oh,
try to
yeah.
replicate what Jaws does, and it's hard to.
Can't
You
capture the
can't
magic,
compare
yeah,
it. You
it's,
can't do it. That's why Deep Blue Sea was kind of good because he had smart sharks that tried to problem solve.
Austin Powers when they had the sharks with freaking lasers.
Laser
laser
beams.
beams.
Laser beams. That was
Or the shark scene in
Freaking
Ace
sharks
Ventura.
with freaking lasers.
Oh yeah,
freaking laser beams.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
It's brought
Jaws
a lot
started
more
it all.
shark movies.
Still relevant, still worth a watch if you haven't seen it yet.
And if you really want a fun time, read the book because
There's a
night
book?
and day different.
There's
Oh
a
yeah,
book?
yeah. Peter Benchley.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I
I,
don't
thought
wanna
we were
get
still on
into it.
Shark.
Duh.
No, sorry.
Duh.
Jaws.
Jaws,
Give me
yeah.
that duh.
No.
Well, I heard.
Duh, duh.
I thought the book was
Yeah.
totally different. I never read the book, but
Um,
is it different than the movie? Right?
Yeah, and actually, what's funny is the author is actually
It was written by Tolkien, right?
he plays a
There's only one
news reporter
ring?
in the movie.
Oh,
He's in
okay.
there, but no. Hooper has an affair with Brody's wife.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's yeah.
Suck it.
well, they
suck
had a
it.
lot more.
Hooper is a real piece of shit in there. Quint is a douche, and it's
Wow.
kind of glad they made the changes.
There's
that
like
they
nothing
did.
about sharks. It's Days of Our Lives
You're
in a
like,
book.
so Hooper shows up on the island to help Brody and goes and has an affair with Brody's wife.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good story though. I mean, good book.
It's worth a read.
Yeah.
And then actually they just came out with one called The Book of Quint, which is kind of like a prequel. It's kind of like about Quint's life up to it,
Interesting.
which I haven't read yet, but I'm intrigued because I've heard it's actually pretty good. And
Something
funniest
about a
thing,
submarine, maybe.
Robert Shaw's son, Ian Shaw, has been doing. I've been hoping it comes back to America. He's kind of like in it's been on Broadway, a play, I guess. It's called The Shark is Broken, where he plays his dad. He looks just like his dad. Does the mutton chops and everything, but it's called The Shark is Broken, where it's kind of like the filming of the movie where they have
In
guys
a play format?
But yeah, and it's so they have a guy that looks like Roy Scheider. They have a guy that looks just like Richard Dreyfuss, and they kind of
Wow.
and it's apparently really good. So
It's
I'm
a musical?
hoping, it's not a musical, but it's one of those.
The shark. Damn it! It's broken.
Right?
Yo,
See?
the shark is broken. Yes, it is broken. They
goodness
bring out like Hamilton.
It's not Hamilton, okay?
But yeah, no, that's one of those I've been hoping as a fan of the movie. Like,
Yeah,
it would
that's
come,
cool.
but it's all over England, obviously, because that's where he's from, and I guess, or that's where he lives now. And so, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So, any other final thoughts other than enjoying our shark bites and talking about Jaws?
It's just a great movie.
Two fins up, two dead bodies, two shark victims. What are we talking about here?
3 legs chopped off.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
The kids will still enjoy it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
won't poo-poo it.
And
like
honestly,
they do some
for-
of those old movies now.
I'm going to show it to my
I
6-year-old.
think it's rated PG.
Yeah. And
Really?
it shows a little bit, if you could tell in the dark, does it show a little bit of boobies
It
there at
does.
the beginning?
That's
too?
what
In the
I thought.
beginning, yeah.
You
Like, well,
can
and actually,
tell.
That's
if you're
why
a kid
you're-
and you're like,
well,
not
when you
sell,
pause
but
it
tell.
Actual
correctly.
boobs, and it's rated PG.
Oh, there
and a
was a lot
severed
of them
leg,
back in that,
and a
that
severed
time.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can all thank Temple of Doom for the PG-13 rating.
With
but,
the heart.
Well, no, and the thing is
Golly,
those boobies in the beginning of Jaws weren't relevant until high def started coming along, and God bless the 4K version.
Yeah, bloody boobs.
I didn't have to look at all the squiggly lines in cable late at night. I could-
Hoping you're doing the dial, trying to dial it in just right. All right, well, everybody, go watch Jaws. Go watch Jaws if you haven't. My God, it's been 50 years.
Make yourself a little.
Sorry if we
shark
spoiled
bite.
it for you.
Make yourself a little shark bite. It's very tasty.
We should have said spoiler.
Enjoy a shark bite. Enjoy a shark bite. All right, for Jesse, Jeremy, Mike, I'm Jason. Cheers.
Bon
From everybody
voyage.
here at Tipsy
Love you guys.
Critiques. Go swim in the ocean. All right, bye.
Please.
Why don't you go in the water?